It's time for Q&A in the Kitchen. It's the podcast and YouTube series where we talk about common questions tattoo and piercing collectors may have with tattooing and body piercing experts.
Yeah, that's us. Hey.
Brought to you in part by Skin Kitchen Tattoo, the Axiom Body Piercing Studio, and Death Before Decaf. Dun, dun, dun. We're going to do a speed round this time on Season 2, Episode number 8.
Yeah.
Which means we've done about 35 of these?
Yeah, and at, $60,000 a pop. We're loaded.
Yeah, we're just swimming in it.
If we got
like the duck from the Disney shows.
Imagine if we did.
Oh, Scrooge McDuck with his money box on DuckTales. That was awesome.
We could get a nicer table at that point.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Anyway.
And maybe a cameraman or two. Keep things in focus.
College students out there that, want to do some interning.
Well, it's not an intern, because if they're an intern, we have to pay them. Volunteer your time and get the experience.
For free.
Not in the state of Iowa anymore.
Well, then we'll call them something else.
Unless we become a non-profit organization.
We'll call them volunteers.
Volunteers. That's what we're always looking for.
Anyway.
So let's start off with, are white tattoos a good idea, or are they just dangerous?
I only do tattoos that you can see. Like, if you want to get tattooed, I'll do a tattoo. If you want something that nobody can see, then I'm not doing a tattoo.
It's kind of, I'll shoot you down.
The stencil gets mixed into it, changes the pigment to like a pink or a purplish. It's, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a lot of pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see it.
I don't want to say yes. I will crack if you're really adamant about it. I'll say all right. You're kind of probably wasting your money.
And I'll pass
I'll
to
do
Westley.
it, but I'm going to tell you, a bunch of reasons why. All the reasons why we're about to cover why. So
I will inform the client of all the the realities of it, and inform them, and as long as their expectations are realistic, I'll do it. Depending on how elaborate they want to get, it's only worth so much time and effort to do so much with a white tattoo because of just depending on skin type and placement and all this stuff. White just does not stay pure white. It's going to be tinted by the skin tone.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have this image in their head of it being like whiteout or something on their skin or paint, and that would be dope.
That'd be cool.
But we don't have that, right?
Or this
Unless
idea
you want to apply it every day.
This idea that they're going to tan and then it's going to suddenly appear when they're tanning. I've heard that one before too.
That's the opposite.
It won't. It'll actually look worse. And
most of the
less
images
noticeable.
brought to me ever when people want white tattoos, either they're actual paint, somebody's painted body paint on their skin, or it's a photoshopped image.
Yeah.
They never bring you an actual white tattoo because they don't really look as good in photos.
Yeah.
If you go on
they
Pinterest
don't.
and look up white tattoos, the ones that are going to wow you are the ones that have been photoshopped.
Yeah.
The ones that you're like, oh, that's kind of dingy and dirty, that's probably the real tattoo. And that's just kind of like...
This is just reality of it. Even if you do get away with it at first and it looks cool, it's only time until it starts kind of falling apart. Right. They have a pretty short lifespan. There's only so much you can do with it. And so, like I said, if you are realistic about what you're after and your reasoning behind it is sound and you put all that together and you still want it, great. I'll do it.
Yeah, because the other myth is that it's going to somehow create kind of a raised scar, but that's scarification. That's an entirely different thing.
You did it wrong.
You're not doing it right if that's what's happening.
Now, some people say it looks like a scar because, in the way that a scar can be discolored or lighter. Some people do say it looks like a scar, but that's person to person, and that's all perception too.
Because I have known a few people that wanted to get it done just for the experience of getting a tattoo, but they don't necessarily want a tattoo.
Yeah, it's more for them, and it's more of like a memento tattoo and stuff. And a lot of times they aren't that concerned with it being that noticeable. They just kind of want to go through the steps and be able to show that they have a tattoo.
Yeah.
But it's
kind of a
people usually are expecting it to be a little more incredible than it really is. Because like I said, the pigment's under the skin. No matter what, your skin is over the top. So depending on the state of your skin, it's going to affect that white a lot.
So in other words, you should have low expectations.
Yes.
Lower the better. Yeah. And pretty much everything I do.
Makes it easier way to
And I'll leave
get
it
away
at
with it.
Nice.
I can get away
I
with
like
everything if they don't
disappointing people.
expect anything.
But let's go on to the next one. What happens if I get lightheaded or pass out?
Well, if you start feeling it coming on, let us know, because usually it's your sugar dropping or something. You know,
Stress.
fight or flight. It's stress.
Yeah.
You know,
What you get
Your
stressed.
adrenaline.
Yeah,
You get stressed out, and all those tiny little capillaries and stuff in your brain start closing up and tightening up, and that restricts the blood to your brain. And your brain's like, "Whoa, this person is freaking out, man!" And you start getting lightheaded, and your body's like, "Okay, reset," and then lock you out. And a lot of times, if you catch it early enough, you can get out of it. You know, you'll start if you start seeing a tunnel, if your hearing starts
That's why
fading.
it's good to like talk to people sometimes. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
check in. You know,
'cause
that's good
as an
bedside
artist,
manner.
a lot of times you can notice the skin starts getting a little
Green.
clammy and yucky. They start sweating.
Yeah.
If you are
Goosebumps.
talking to them, hey man, how you doing? So what'd you say you do for a living again? And they're like, potatoes. You're like,
I want to take a
here
break.
we go.
Yeah.
You need a break.
Yeah,
No,
potatoes
fine.
is
basically,
no, you're not.
what-
Dead giveaway.
what's happening is your body's restricting the flow to your brain so that it can go into fight or flight. And all that blood goes down into your muscles so that you can run the hell out or fight off whatever you're being attacked by.
body
And
has
it
a way
is
of
all
overdoing it.
emotional for the most part.
Yeah.
Of course, you can combat it by keeping your blood sugar high.
Yep.
Gatorade, electrolytes.
Eat some lunch right beforehand.
Yeah,
Eat
lunch
it
beforehand.
or whatever.
And then bring
Not maybe-
snacks with
maybe
you.
not
It
right
helps
beforehand,
have
but
it.
is
eat
awesome.
something an hour before your tattoo.
Yeah, there's a
You're right.
reason that we keep
Suckers
little dum-dum
everywhere.
suckers all over the shop, you know? It doesn't hurt to have a little extra sugar in your blood and keep you a little bit more on top of things and, you know, keeps you awake in the chair.
Exactly.
I will say, though, if you pass out in my chair, the first thing I do is I go to your pockets. I check them.
I like to take photos with them first.
Yeah, well, I do that right after I've checked their pockets.
Usually, and this is
Loose
one of the
change.
reasons why we may keep you, like with piercing, I usually will try to keep them seated for at least the next
Yeah, you're waiting for the reaction.
minute or so after the piercing
Yeah.
is done, because unlike tattoos, they'll react in the middle sometimes.
Yeah, on the come down, it can be almost just as it can almost make you pass out or get lightheaded too, because when everything opens up and you get that kind of flood, you get that euphoric little whoa. That's that would happen. We had that revolving door at the other shop.
Oh, I used to
And-
dread that.
And that would
I gotta go. I'm in a real big hurry. No, you're sitting down because I ain't gonna try to get you out of that door.
yeah, I know, right?
Once
They
you
were
go down
like
in
they
there, you're
become
in there.
like a person trapped, like in that thing from the bank that sucks the thing up. It's like they're locked in there. But no, yeah, it's good to make sure that someone's nice and stable, especially after a long sitting. When someone swings their leg over the chair and sits up, you know, I'm like, just let the world
Yeah.
get back where it belongs before
been
you
laying
jump
down,
up
man,
real quick.
for a
Because
minute,
The
Yeah.
biggest thing is communicate it with your artist. You say, I'm starting to feel lightheaded,
Yep.
so that they can back away and set up and prepare for whether or not
Whatever's coming.
what's going to come. They're going to want you to have you in a stationary or laying down position so you're easy to handle.
Yeah.
They don't want you to stand up and walk around. They don't want you to stick your head between your knees because you're going to fall flat on your face. Also, it's very important, even as you're coming out of it, sometimes people will feel a little bit nauseous. Please
Let us know.
tell
Let
us.
me know, yeah.
Because
Keep it in the
I'd
trash
much
can.
rather take a bag of trash out than
Then mop.
clean up
Clean.
puke off the floor. It is not
a
fun.
mop is never the same after that.
No, it's
yeah,
not.
and that smell,
Nope.
it just gets right down in there, and it's hard to get rid of.
Yeah. So yeah, one of my first reactions is, and if they're with someone, I will, if they're out, I'll be like, make sure they stay in the chair, and I will grab the trash can and
Give
keep
it
it
to
real
them, then I
close.
exit.
Yeah.
It's just a reaction. Trust me, you are not the first person
Nope.
to do this in that
No,
artist
no.
chair.
No.
And if you are, you're probably going to get struck by lightning and win the lottery.
Yeah.
Because it just happens. Anybody who's tattooing
Oh, yeah.
any amount of time, it's just going to happen. People get lightheaded, and it seemed to happen more at the beginning of my career than it has lately. And I don't know, it's just because the overall stigma is kind of dropped, and it's
Possibly.
just everybody knows somebody with a tattoo.
Combination of the technology's gotten better. Our
And the
machines
machines.
gotten stronger.
I was
Same thing
tattooing
gotten
my
better.
knee that a few weeks ago, and I was surprised how not only how the pain was very manageable, but the saturation that I got right in that knuckle of your knee,
Yep.
were just. It's just it's that chunk of skin that as a kid you just beat that crap out of every time
Everybody's
you
got
landed on your
scars
knees,
on 'em,
and man, it just just packed it right in there. And so, yeah, that might have
that was a thing I was thinking just a moment ago, too. It's important to say with all of this talk about passing out and feeling lightheaded, that it does happen a whole lot less than it used to. I think, and that's probably across the board with a lot of artists, not just ourselves, but I think a lot of people report that a lot, that between technology and getting better.
As we get older, we notice more stuff. Like, we're more intuitive of what's happening. Like, in the earlier part of our career, we're so worried about tattooing.
That's true.
And all the shit going on, and, blah, blah, and, you didn't really notice it. Well, this dude's sweating profusely. And I haven't talked to him because I had like a headphone in for like 10 minutes because he's annoying.
And it could have been the fact that we were dumb kids fumbling around with this tattoo thing, and the client was like, "What the hell is this kid doing?" And now, we're more confident and relaxed and at ease what we're doing, and I think that helps the client be at ease.
And part of it is they actually know somebody that's had a number of tattoos that they don't think is... because there was always this thing with tattooing and piercing, like, I'm Billy Badass, I'm the toughest guy in the block, and all that crap. And that stigma's kind of gone away. So maybe that helps a little bit with the preparation and getting used to it. And
a little less intimidating.
I think the sound made a big difference, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the sound of the
rattle.
Yeah, it's changed completely. I love the buzz. I love to hear it. But in the shops now, it's more comforting to customers to not hear it. Because I
can't believe I dealt with it for so long. Every now and then when I plug one in, just I'm like, how in the world did I do tattoos?
That's why we couldn't hear anything. When people be like, "Hey, what?" It's like getting off a motorcycle all the time. What'd you say? I've been listening to for hours.
10 years ago, not only did I do, but I don't think I really could have done as long as settings as I do now, as often as I do now, if it wasn't for those lighter weight, more efficient tattoo machines. Because there was a little bit of a frustration attached, at least for me, using those older machines, because they just didn't work as efficiently. So getting that nice saturation that when you got done, you're like, was harder. So you didn't have as many awesome moments, like, wow, neat moments. So, it's harder to do something for a longer period if it's not giving you back.
You're working twice as hard.
Big pieces.
For less.
Halfway through a shading area with those older machines, you chewed the skin up enough that it's already working really hard over time to start healing up, and then everything after that, it just doesn't saturate nearly as nicely. And nowadays, you can almost control that and get a whole lot further with that because, you haven't overworked it right at the beginning. By the time that you're halfway through it, that it's still very nice and easy, and the whole body's like, whatever.
It's kind of like your body's like, okay, we'll send a few troops, but it's cool. As where before you got, you're now your body's like, and that spot's so irritated, and your body is just telling you over and over again, hey, dummy. Something's freaking going on right here.
Do something about it.
But so now, that's toned down. So, it is a less, but it's, it still happens from time to time, and just, let us know. We take care of
Since we're talking about reactions, here's another one that's on here, is will you make fun of me if I'm a wimp?
No, man.
It depends.
Well,
depends.
Maybe.
It depends on your whole persona. Like, if you came in and you were kind of... And those are always the ones that seems to go down harder. You'll have people that come in and, they've been tattooed 2-3 times and they've watched Miami Ink from cover to cover and they just know it all. And they come rolling in like, they know everything. If they are squirming and they're just belly aching, I'll give them shit. I'm like, I'm like, come on, Billy, badass, let's go. What's with the attitude? But typically people aren't like that, and the more comfortable and happy the client is, the easier my job is. That's why I tell people when I'm setting up longer settings, I'm like, no, look, we just booked 7 hours, but if 5 hours in you're over it, I'd rather skip those last 2 hours and end it with a good session, being positive, rather than fighting through those last 2 hours trying to inch forward, getting something done. You're gonna get more for your money, and it's gonna be more of a positive experience when you come back. And I don't want to sit there knowing I'm torturing the shit out of you.
I don't want to rush and you jump around.
If you knew what my maximum time was able to sit in the chair, you'd know I have no room to make fun of you anyway.
Right? That's true.
Mine's about 3.5 hours.
I get in there
at that point, I'm just like, I'm done with this.
You're a goddamn champ. I don't care if you cut 2 hours short. It's still better than me.
And it's important, I think, that we point out that especially if you're very new to piercing or tattooing, we're going to be a lot more forgiving.
Yes.
And if you're polite, and you're not a jerk,
Yes.
and you're not making our job harder, and you're not being frustrating,
Not getting in your own way or mine.
Yep.
yes, then you're gonna be okay. We're
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
make fun of you.
Usually the heavier
And that's the way
tattooed
99%
people
of the times
are
it
the
goes.
worst to tattoo sometimes. Like I know I am. I'm horrible with tattoo.
Yeah.
I hate it. I can't sit still that long, and I just don't have the mental.
I'm at the
Zone
point
out,
now
you know?
where I've got, like,
About
I'd say
covered.
almost half of what I have left I can reach. So, like, I have some room here and, like, thighs. I
still
can
can't get over you
fill
tattoo
in
yourself
a
all the time.
bunch
I
of
hate
what I have
tattooing
left.
myself, dude. I
love it because I can just go
hate it.
fast. I can get it done. I know what I want. You know, think about it. When you're tattooing another tattooer, that's like the hardest thing. You know, it's the next hardest thing to tattooing your old lady or something because you know you're tattooing somebody who knows.
Right.
You know, so you're gonna take that extra time. You're gonna fidge. You're gonna nitpick. No. Screw that, dude. No, get it done, son. So, you know, I can, and not only that, I have to concentrate on what I'm doing, so it takes a little focus out of the pain.
Right,
for
I
me,
guess.
think. So anyway, I like it.
I have a hard time. I can't do it.
Some
I
artists
hate
do it,
tattoos.
some artists don't.
But I haven't
like
tried it since we went to rotary machines. The last time I tattooed myself was
a lot
traditional,
easier.
and it sucked.
Oh, yeah.
And I did
the
tattoo my
vibration
foot.
is in there.
So that wasn't a good choice.
And it's just harder to handle.
It wasn't a good choice to begin with.
Yeah, well.
Okay, let's go to this next one, and this is kind of a personal thing. What is your favorite tattoo or piercing?
On myself?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any piercings anymore.
I know,
Yeah,
you
what's
took them
up?
all
When
out.
I
Check
had
one
it,
out.
well, I had, my Libre was my favorite, and I ended up taking that out because why?
Because you thought you were too old for it.
No. That's why I took out the two lip
I
piercings.
thought those were cool.
Yeah, but I looked at myself one day and I was like, dude, you're like 45 years
So
old.
what?
It's like, I think you gotta let them go.
Nope.
Yeah, so I took them out, but my Libre was my favorite. I had my ears gauged to about half inch or so. They're probably about, yours are probably about half inch or so, right? Yeah, mine are around that.
That's close to 5/8, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't remember what they are.
it's right about where I was.
I stopped measuring.
So, and that was good for a while, but the thing that sucked about that was motorcycle helmets off and on with those big
Plugs.
gauges and plugs in there. It was just, it was irritating, and then I ripped my ear one time, and I was like, forget it. I don't have time for it. But my favorite tattoo is probably my throat.
Yeah.
Partially because of the artwork, but I'd say a little bit more because of the memories and stuff that go along with it. A really good tattooer named Cap Szymski did it, and he was a guy I looked up before I even picked up a machine.
Yeah, old
he
legend.
was he was a more of a fine line black and gray guy. He tattooed down in New Mexico and stuff and all around, and I was able to meet up or find him at Sturgis like the second year I think I did Sturgis, and I got some chair time with him. I was just there at the right time. He was tattooing with Judy Parker, and it took 5+ hours sitting in a little metal folding chair right in the window of Main
Sturgis
Street
now, baby.
Sturgis.
Yep.
And I mean, it was hardcore.
Yep.
And I've got the coolest picture that Judy Parker ended up posting a few years ago because he passed away. It's been almost 3 years ago now. Yeah. And she posted a picture of Cap tattooing me on my throat.
That's awesome.
And I've got this goofy little goatee tied in like a little ponytail. And I've got this cholo mustache, like, I don't know, like mixed between like an LA cop and a frickin' lowrider guy. And, you know, I'm sitting there with my bald head in this chair, and Cap is just like this with the machine right on my throat. And I'm just staring right at the camera like, what did I get myself into? And it's just the dopest picture. But anyway, it was that was a cool memory. And for what I went through getting the tattoo, I always said if I had to remove every single one of my tattoos and keep one, I'd probably keep my throat.
That's awesome.
So what do you? What about you, Wes?
Yeah,
Out of
I
your
got
4
memories of
tattoos,
Sturgis.
which
Yeah, I know,
one is your
that-
favorite?
no,
Your 4 tattoos.
Actually, man, it's a tough choice for me. I've always liked this whiskey bottle on my arm, but recently I've got the back of my neck done, and I've really enjoyed that piece. I like it. It's still in the healing stages. Got another week or so left. A little scab left on it, but a couple of crossed Viking axes. I got put back there recently, and I like that piece.
It's easy for your newest piece to be your favorite.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of like I like that one. It is quickly becoming it, but also I don't know. I like a lot of my pieces. You know, I have a wide variety of different pieces for different reasons. You did one on my ankle, which is an ode to
Yeah.
tattooing. It's a little, it's a throwback to the old days of tattooing, and I won't really go into it. Yeah, it's a Huck Spalding tattoo or
Yeah, it's
diagram.
like an inside joke almost. Like only a tattooer that's been around at least for a little while would really even recognize it.
Yeah, yep. But I don't know. Yeah, I like a lot of tattoos. I got this little Lego here that's a fun one just because it throws back to being a kid, and I'm still kind of immature and always a kid. So that's kind of one that sticks out, and it's kind of the brightest one on the arm too. So it catches a lot of attention. So I don't know. It's a little bit of. It's hard for me to choose. So. But I think those 3 would be my top ones. And the whiskey bottle here,
It's
too.
so hard to choose.
I know, I know.
It's funny, I have probably 5 times as many tattoos as you, and I could pick one.
Yeah.
You,
I just love them all,
You're so
though.
decisive.
I didn't burn through
if you had to remove every single tattoo but one, which one would you keep?
I don't... Probably not none of the ones I just said, then.
Wow.
See? Yeah.
What do you want to eat? I don't care.
And maybe it is kind of a different. Maybe it is kind of a different question.
Yep.
Maybe that's why you're so hard to date.
Probably.
Well, I like all 3 of them.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Can I
for
keep them
different
all?
reasons.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then
Just never
then
let-
that one over there. Then.
Yeah. Right. What about you, Jimmy?
My favorite piercing probably my lip. Just a lot of memories and shit. I've had it forever. For tattoos, it is a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of good memories with a lot of them. I love all my pieces. I'd probably say like this one on hand.
Yeah.
My buddy little Tommy Carter did that one. Yeah, he was still at Ace Tattoo then. He's still down in Charlotte somewhere down there, tattooing. He was a great piercer. Went to Gauntlet.
Oh, okay.
I got offered a spot there and turned it down and went and worked for Little John down in North Carolina for him for a while. And I met back up with him, and because I was going to go into tattooing, I went to the Navy and got all kind of crossed up, and we ran into each other after he was back home piercing and was like, "What are you doing? Get your ass in here." So like he brought me back into tattooing, and he started tattooing. And it like right after he had finished his apprenticeship, he took all his money and he got in touch with Philip Liu.
Oh, nice.
And he went over, and like Philip Liu's pretty famous for, if you got the money to get over here and get to me, like you can crash here on the couch or whatever, and you can anything you want to learn, I'll teach you, and go from there. Kind of pilgrimage kind of thing. And I always thought that was rad. And when he got back, he did this at the Charlotte Tattoo Convention, the very first one. Yep.
Right on.
We did it black and gray the first time, and then years ago in Richmond, he colored it in. So it's a really cool tattoo to me.
Yeah. Right on. That's fun that it's on your hand. You get to enjoy
Yeah, I
it a
get to
lot.
see it all the time when I ride my motorcycle and stuff.
All right, Dave.
It's always an action shot.
Yeah, it's always an action.
Yeah. It's.
Piercing, nipples.
Yeah.
And I lost one of them, so I'm gonna have to redone at some point.
I'll do it.
yourself. somebody to do
I'm
it?
waiting for the tissue to reform to a point where I don't have to worry about it.
What gauge was it at?
6.
And it got ripped out?
It was starting to migrate a little bit, I think, before that, and I was just kind of it's in there, it ain't going nowhere. And then I was doing laundry and caught it on the laundry basket. Did not feel it at all. That's the weirdest part about it.
Wow.
In fact, I was like all pissed because I thought that the ball fell off again. And it's like an old piece that I've had from HTC, and you can't get exactly the same response or the replacement. So I was like freaking out because I was going to lose it. And then I looked down and it's the whole ring, and then I looked down and it's like I had 3 nipples. So I taped it up really well and kept it really tight, and it's formed back to a normal nipple. Now I'm just waiting for that tissue to fill in enough that it can support it to redo it.
Owie.
It didn't hurt at all. That's the weirdest thing
No, but
about
that
it.
sounds pretty
Yeah,
loud.
it
And that's
was-
why I don't like, I
they're a
couldn't
lot
do
of
my
fun.
nipples.
A lot of fun once they heal.
I won't do them again. But
That's the only reason why I
It's
got
the
into
healing
this
time.
thing, is I wanted to get my nipples done, and I couldn't find anybody I trusted to do it. And then I started researching, having somebody do it for me or what have you, and that's where the whole journey began.
Wow. No. I had it done back in the day with a frickin' gun.
Ouch.
Both of them with a frickin' gun, and left those studs in for like 3 days.
Oh, man.
Good that you got smarter as you got older.
Yeah, I
That's
looked
a
at
horrible
that.
idea for anybody who's watching. Please don't
do that
That
ever.
is the dumbest.
pierce anything
I
like
looked
that.
into that. Even back then, there was enough information out there, to go, oh, no, that's not how you do
That
that.
was probably 92.
Yeah, that would have been when I was really starting my search. Would have been 90, 91.
Yep.
Started finding the Piercing Fan Quarterlies International.
geez,
I'd have to go to Iowa City to find them.
Yeah.
Started actually researching. Oh, so this is how they do all this stuff. And then, discovered genital piercings and all kinds of other stuff. Tattoo-wise, I still love my back, but I never see it.
Yeah,
and I think that's probably why I love it.
Never gets old.
It's my Rock of Ages. I've had it back there forever. And then probably in recent time, a Close 2 is the one we just finished.
Yeah.
My Close 3 is probably one of the girls.
That's good.
Yep.
Yep.
Even though they're showing their age now.
That's part of the reason. Those girls are part of the reason I got my pinup from Sherry is because they're just so pretty.
They're beautiful.
And I had to get one, and I've got bumblebees on the inside of my arm. So we did a little like queen bee. She's a little pinup and a little antennas and stuff. So those are.
Next is 2 Betty Pages, and then a Irving pinup where she's on her back.
Yeah.
And it was just like those three just fit there well. And then I have the old geezer down here looking up her dress. So and they just all kind of fit together. So that's always been kind of, I don't know, that your sleeve kind of just becomes one tattoo after a while.
After they start touching, it's
hard to pick it apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get to ask that anymore? How many tattoos do you have?
A lot of times, yeah. And people that are counting and they're up in like the 20s or 30s, I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. I get that with piercings. Like, how many piercings do you have? And I have to do the math in my head. And it doesn't seem that impressive.
Well, tattoos, it's really more about the time spent in the chair,
Yeah, I start telling them time.
If you go in and your first tattoo is a sleeve, and the next person goes in and their first tattoo is a bumblebee,
Right.
they both have one tattoo?
Yeah.
No. So that's why it's kind of better to go with hours. And at this point, I'd really have to sit down for a while and really kind of figure it out. And I would be kind of interested to know. But, man, it's
I think the last time I sat down and tried to figure mine out when we were at City Limits, we were doing that. I think I'm at like 1,500.
I had it all journaled out at
You're
one point.
way over, dude. You've got thousands of hours in you.
Man,
I'm sure.
I must if you've got that many.
Yeah, because they added up quick.
Yeah.
4 hours here, 8 hours here, 10 hours here, 5 hours here. I used to sit for big pieces. The one you did on me was, what, 6 hours?
Probably 5 or 6 hours,
It was 6 hours, man.
It's a big one.
Beautiful tattoo. I love it.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the favorite tattoos I have. But
Yeah,
if I had to
I'm
pick
curious
everyone
now.
to move,
I might have to sit down and figure it
Try
out.
to figure it out.
But anyway.
Well, I think we covered that pretty well.
Yeah.
Those 3 questions. Thank you for watching, everyone. We do post these every other Sunday. We do the video version, then the podcast version. If you're listening to this as a podcast, please subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we post something, which we do post on average 4 to 5 videos a week. Also like to thank our sponsors, Skin Kitchen Tattoo, the Axiom Body Piercing Studio, and Death Before Decaf. And here's hoping all your tattoos and piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And over here in the Des Moines, Iowa area, we hope to see you for your tattooing and body piercing needs in the future.
Be nice to each other.
Thanks,
See you next time.
guys. Thanks.